The holy city of Vitega is vast. Miles and miles of stone structures filled with citizens of the Pontificate of Bastion going about their lives, doing their thing. They live knowing that they're safe and protected because the branches of a massive, titanic, white tree with golden leaves stretches above them. The goddess Fora is their name for it. There's not a single home in the city where you can't see Fora dominating the skyline. The only structure that even begins to approach it is the cathedral that's at the base of the tree, just sort of surrounding it. It's miles wide, the cathedral and the trunk. And it can be seen outside the window of an 8-year-old human boy in his home. Quinn, would you like to introduce your character?
Oh no, I'm 8 years old. It's much younger than I thought. Yes, probably hasn't reached his growth spurt yet. Little Alexander Tremont is probably short-cut brown hair, okay looking clothes. Doubt much money was just sitting around the house. And every time he would look up at the tree, it would probably be with a sense of awe.
Your father is rarely home, but you do spend a lot of time with your mother and your live-in maid. What do you think your mother's name is?
I'm thinking Theodora.
Theodora, okay. Okay, I'll write that down. The maid, her name is Amelie. And those are like your two major figures in your life, like your two caretakers, really. How do you think Alex spends his days just living with his mother and maid?
A lot of it is probably spent either in the books or in the backyard. He loves reading the text of the church, the story-like atmosphere of Fora as she saved Bastion from the demons. And whenever he goes out into the backyard, he usually grabs a stick, a fallen branch, and practices sword fighting, always with the aspiration of taking after his father.
How does he feel about his father right now?
That young, there's probably a sense of mystique. His mother would tell him stories of his feats securing the domain of the church. And even though he never really has a sense to see his father, Alex would probably still think of him fondly. Young enough where he thinks his dad's going to come through the door one day, the old soldier putting up his sword finally to be with his family.
What do you think Alex's relationship is with his mother?
She probably feels like she has to take over the household. Amelie, she trusted with Alexander's upbringing when he was very young, and she had a household to take care of, no doubt having to keep up with some standing, being the wife of someone in the church military. But as he grew older and there was less, having to tuck him in at night or do something that's very physical, she would become, what would be the right word for it? The caring matriarch. Distant, but always there with a story about his father, trying to encourage Alex to take after him.
Mm-hmm. Like as he gets older, more invested in his education and
Alex would always cling to his mother whenever she was around. He would have been desperate for just some sense of familiar upbringing, but Amelie would always be the distant aunt-like figure. But so he would adore his mother, but his mother would be distant.
Okay, so a lot. What I'm getting is a lot of distant caretakers.
Yeah, no. Amelie's too professional to take over. His mother is the standoffish, and his father's always gone. So
it's all going great.
Yeah, no. Alexander is very much self-raised.
Well, tonight is a night that Alex would definitely remember because your father's coming home. Errol Tremont, he comes home, and the energy is weird as he comes in because let's say it's not like you're by the fire, like things keeping warm, and your father comes in, and he's uninjured. He's large, like bear of a man. He's still wearing his armor when he comes in, but he's quick to get it off. Can you roll just like a straight perception check?
18, if there's nothing to add.
18,
to it.
okay. No, yeah, that's good. You would have noticed that, like, your father intentionally doesn't have people fix the dents and scrapes and scratches in his armor. He wants people to see the history of his battle, and you see that there are a few more dents and scrapes than there used to be. Alex is a very perceptive young man, it seems, so he...
he tries to remember every detail of his father every time he comes home. It happens
That is so
rarely.
sad.
Yeah. Like, if he comes in the door and there's any sort of knowledge that it's his father, Alex would run to the front door, not saying a word, but just standing proud, hand over his heart.
He looks at you and, like, sort of like... He tries to, like, regard it, but, like, it's like a shaky, just sort of, like, nod. It's not like... He's not playing along maybe as much as he might have before. He looks tired and mentally exhausted in a way that, like, Alex probably can't understand. Like, he's not hurt, but he doesn't look good. If you want to roll an insight check to, like, sort of...
I think at this point, Alex would be too blinded.
Just not insightful at all.
He is not grown to the point where he'd be critical of his father, so he would still be standing there proudly, and the fact that his father's not regarding him, we might just excuses a long night or something. Mm-hmm. He'd always come up with excuses.
Yeah, he's just like sort of, good boy, and he like just like pats your head and like kind of just goes to bed, and like whatever he's going through, it's something that a kid can't understand. He was always stern, but he became way more distant even when he was there after this moment.
As he would walk away, Alex would still have his hand over his heart, kind of just waiting for the at ease or the salute in return. And when his dad finally just closes the door to the bedroom, just...
Yeah. From your perspective, that's when your father changed. He took on less action-heavy assignments after this, became more of a pencil pusher, but it's still work that always took him away. So it's stuff that, like, Alex may not even perceive as, like, less important, essentially. It's like, oh, so, you know, just... You're still gone, but like you're not doing brave, adventurous.
Yeah, he would find that his mother would have less and less stories to tell that aren't just the same stories he's heard. Mm-hmm. The household grows colder as even Theodora has less fondness to go off of while he's away.
Well, after that, do we want to like just touch on like what his further education and schooling and training would have been?
As soon as he was able, he'd probably try to find a way to join up with the apostles. Like if they have some sort of academy in the capital, he would have joined it.
In this case, the school and the church are essentially one and the same. So there's
perfect.
It would be very easy to fast track into becoming an apostle or a cleric of some sort.
Yes, he would definitely be trying to excel in any martial study. At some point, no longer wanting to be his father, but be better than his father.
Like surpass.
Yes. But definitely as he grows into the teenage years of rebellion, that's when he starts realizing that his father wasn't who he was cracked up to be. Mm-hmm. And that's when disdain starts to kind of take over the pride he had in his heart.
Do we want to roll to see how well he
does in
he excels
school?
in his studies?
Oh,
like
boy.
over his... Let's roll with advantage on intellectual stuff.
Okay.
Because you just said that he was like always in the books and stuff. So
yeah.
Rolls with advantage on study.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay. That's not, you know, top of his class, but very, very, he excels.
He found a rival.
Yeah.
And that rival was always doing better than him. Let's call him Clarence.
Yeah, he's not, you know, summa cum laude, whatever, but he's like...
cum laude, though.
Yeah.
But
he ain't summa.
Yeah, he's in the top third.
In boot camp, essentially. Like, how does he do we think? Let's roll for that.
All right. This is just a normal one.
Yeah, just a normal one for this one.
Natural 20.
Wow.
So he is not. His book learning doesn't pay off, but that's stick swinging.
But you know, his dad's bear-like genetics really come into play, and that growth spurt comes into play.
He goes from probably like when he enters his teenage years, he immediately shoots up to 6'3", and the gangly movement usually find in those kids, he turns into like just reach.
Yeah.
And so he like that's when his kind of kind of lean athleticism comes in, and he's just left and right. That's where he excels.
Yeah. So like
Clarence, good at the book learning. He is the pious. He probably goes into the clergy.
But I can kick his ass.
Yeah, no, I can kick his ass on the mat any day. That's where we diverge. He turns into a wizard.
Yeah. Like Alex is like that football player who's also pretty good at school.
I earned that scholarship.
Yeah. A good 12 years after that night with your father, we pick back up Alex in a wagon in the forest, heading north to Port Tareff. It's has not been a fun journey. It's been a very bumpy one. You are currently being transferred to Port Tareff at the request of your father, Commander Errol Tremont. How does Alex feel about that?
He definitely would be dejected. He would feel like he's being taken away from the center of civilization to go out to the boonies on his dad's whim. And during the academy as he was growing up, his feelings on him have definitely soured. So
and you're also being taken away from active duty. You can't do the things that his dad that your dad did.
So he sees this almost as a punishment.
Right.
And is he is the wagon an official church convoy, or is it just Bill?
It's kind of just a uncovered it's just kind of just ferrying you and some other soldiers up there.
Yeah, so he would have his hood up, just kind of sitting back, almost not entirely curled into a ball, but just trying to take up not as much space.
Pouting.
Yeah. Not to the point where it's obvious on his face, but his eyes are just closed, and it's.
Yeah, and this is a weeks long journey up north, so it's not good. It might take a full a little over a month to get up there.
And all the lands we'd have to go to. You cross the 2 bridges over the mountains, and then you end up at Port Tareff.
You're coming up here to what's colloquially known as the Richmond's Gate. It's a southern gate that leads into just the very well-to-do part of town here, and the big old cathedral that is the major, religious hub, and as well as the place where most of the governance is done.
The little slice of the capital and the frontier.
It wasn't a fun journey, but once you get in, you see a very nice looking rich part of town. It's it's not the holy city. It's a step down, but it's not bad.
Just the idea that in the center of this town is, well, I guess it's still a cathedral, so it's not devoid of forest light, but he's definitely coming from the capital. He is so used to the tree dominating the landscape.
Miles and miles of city. This is so small compared to that.
Yeah.
You're brought into the cathedral, which is very familiar to you in terms of vibes.
Yeah, he would probably just let out a very quiet sigh as he walks into the cathedral. Just a feeling of belonging finally coming back to him after such a long journey.
Yeah. You're brought in with some other soldiers, and you're processed you go through normal processing stuff of just they check what belongings you do bring. You don't have a lot of personal belongings probably, but
yeah, no, I mean it's an explorer's pack.
Yeah,
and that's it.
But they check it. They show you where your room is, and then eventually you're approached by a woman. She's got dark skin, she's got brown hair, and you know by her garb that she is a herald, which is a relatively high-ranking in the city member of the clergy.
Yeah, right when she comes into view and it looks like she's approaching me, salute.
She salutes back, just gives you a once-over and is like, "Come with me."
Aye, madam.
Tremont? Your father wants me to.
Pardon. I understand. I'll go see him.
She did note the
confusion.
Well, not the confusion, but the relative rudeness to someone who is actually fairly. She's in terms of command. She works under your father, and your father is running all of the military operations in the city.
In my defense, she's a bit hard of hearing.
She brings you along and takes you to your father's office, which is a few flights up. Like, you know, it's nothing for a soldier, but like it would win to us.
Just when I thought I was done with traveling.
I assume that's in your head.
Yes, definitely. Not saying that out loud, especially to her, having already made a bad impression.
So how was the trip?
Quiet but long.
You know, often you'll find some rich cunt will be transferred here from the south and think that they can make it based on the strength of the name. And I don't think I need to tell you this. Your father's a good man. I assume you're a good man as well, but that's not how it works here. And not making any accusations, just wanted to get that out there now and avoid any potential unpleasantness in the future.
Understood.
And here we are. And she brings you to your father's office and invites you to step inside. He's waiting for you.
Yeah, as I give her the departing salute, while I walk inside, and 10 paces from his desk, whatever he just uses as his, where it sets up court, stand straight, click heels, salute, don't say anything. Or, sir.
Yeah, let's do this for inside. He's the same bear of a man, but he's, you know, a little older, a little pudgier. He's graying now in ways that he wasn't before. And his armor, you notice, has the exact same amount of dents in it as it did that night that you remember.
I count them all. It's very much as I stand there, still saluting, I just look him up and down and just mentally note no change for the better.
It is. You're allowed to speak freely here, son, if you like.
Understood, Commander.
He notes that. So I have decided to assign you to the magistrate's personal guard. The magistrate of the city needs protection, and I believe you would do a great job as such a exemplary member of the academy, keeping him safe.
What threatens the magistrate?
Oh, just the same things that would threaten any leader of a major city in general.
Thugs, ruffians.
Political assassinations are not common in the pontificate, but that's only because we have such great protection assigned to our magistrates.
Understood.
Like I said, you can speak freely if you like. You seem like you have something to say.
Why am I here? Specifically me.
To protect the magistrate.
Really? Is that the only reason I'm here?
You're here because I regret the choices I made that made me a worse father than I should have been. And I'd like to make that up to you.
I feel like you're 10 years too late.
He just sort of takes that in for a second, and he, you know, you can see on his face, he doesn't disagree. That may be true. I'd like to try, though.
You're making this up to me by making me a babysitter for the magistrate?
Son, there's no glory in war. There's not. Despite what they told you in school, it's dirty business.
But when else am I going to feel the goddess's eyes on me?
The goddess's eyes are everywhere. You don't have to earn it. It's just there.
Doesn't your career before this speak differently? Why did you feel so compelled to make a name for yourself, only to sit back in an office and watch the world go by?
I felt compelled by duty to protect the pontificate and its interests. And I did that. And I regret some of the things I had to do to make that happen. And I hope that by bringing you here, I'm able to protect you from that.
Seems like you're just protecting me from having a life, from making my own choices. Now I get to sit up, where? The cathedral? It's a nice building. But you're just putting me in the same spot you are. everything will just pass me by while I'm here, guarding a magistrate.
What will you get going to war?
A chance to make a name for myself, for people to know Alexander Tremont, like they know your name. Everyone, our neighbors still speak with such fervor when they think of our family. But after what you've done, after what you're making me do, who will remember the Tremonts in one generation's time?
I was of the same mindset when I was your age. But I was wrong. I couldn't understand how I was wrong until I had lived it. And maybe I can't keep you from that path as well. But I'd be damned if I don't try. I have not been a good father, I know that. But this is me trying to be.
Am I dismissed, sir?
Yes, you're dismissed.
Loot, turn, leave.
One more thing. You are to report to Magistrate Roth as soon as you can.
I'll get the dirt of the road off my boots and meet him immediately.
Good lad.
Is the Herald still outside the door when I leave?
No, she's got shit to do.
Fair enough. I'll see where the barracks are, if they are any. Use that to just clean up a bit.
You get your own room. It's not a big room. It's basically like how a seminary gives a priest a room, like very similar. So it's like a slightly bigger closet, but you know you're used to that.
Yeah.
You get a window. That's nice.
I can look out on the nothing.
There's water. You can smell the seawater coming in.
I take just a long and just take a. There's probably like a nice floral scent in the capital, just always wafting around the tree.
I mean, yeah, people with incense and whatnot.
Incense too.
Yeah.
Oh, the incense. There's a little bit of
a little overpowering.
Well, there's a little bit of a hope that when he goes to the cathedral, someone will have a censer to kind of cleanse his spirit. And so wasting almost no time, he just dusts himself off any large like mud from the road he tries to get off, but he probably heads to the cathedral within the hour.
On the way in the courtyard, you see Herald Moira again. She's training some of her clergy to battle because she's mechanically she's a cleric. She's fairly adept at fighting herself, and she notices you, and just goes, "Hey,
You wanna
spar?"
I am due to see the magistrate.
Oh, it'll only be a second. I just want to show the young clergy what a real fight looks like.
He already knows you made a bad first impression with her, so this is very much just how badly does she want to kick my ass right now? 12.
You're not getting much out of her, but you do feel that she's smug.
All right.
In the face of that, what do you think Alex would do in that scenario if someone's smug challenging him?
As you wish. Let's draw the sword.
I guess roll initiative.
I missed the pad, but it's a 18.
Okay, then you get to go first.
He is going to shield front, kind of looking like he's just going to charge her with the shield, but he's going to actually, as he closes in, swing up from the bottom to see if he can catch her bracing for the wrong kind of attack.
Okay, roll to hit. She's currently wielding a mace, by the way.
Okay. That's a 17 to hit.
Okay, that does not hit. She's gonna take a crack at you. She got a 19.
19, that hits.
She wields her, seems too big for her tiny hands, a battle mace, and just takes a crack at you. Let's see what she can do. She just did 9 points of damage.
It's enough to knock me down to 21.
Oh wait, sorry, there's more damage.
Oh, of course. Gotta love those riders.
Okay, that's a 10 necrotic damage that she also does.
8 plus 10. Okay.
8 plus 10, so that's 18 damage.
I'm down to...
Right off the bat.
I'm not 28. I'm down to 10 hit points now.
All right. She's looking way more smug.
I mean, she's the one that hit me. How with the kind of upward thrust, she dodges that. How does she come in and hit me?
She probably hits you through the shield, and it just hurts that bad.
caves in my arm, and I just feel the life flowing out of me.
To put my cards on the table, she has a challenge rating of 6.
Oh, great.
So that's what she could do through the shield. Your arm does not feel good.
Yeah, it probably just immediately falls
It's like
away.
very numb.
Yeah, it just falls away, and he's holding it there, but so his sword's still up, but his shield arm is just kind of like flopping, not broken, but just numb from the impact. And he can't get the feeling out of it in it. So he's just, man, is he the kind of person that would still go in after getting that soundly thrashed? I think he has enough insight. Not insight. He has enough
Humility?
Yeah, probably humility. And he as his arm falls down, he backs up. I yield.
All right, fair dues.
Is that mace blessed?
Oh, of course. And you look at the pommel. She has like just some sap embedded into it.
It's a cool, nice weapon.
She salutes you.
Oh no, not with, kind of just.
You literally can't do it.
You can't salute. You kind of just.
You can't do it backwards. That is sacrilegious.
Damn it. Yeah, no. So it's very much she salutes Alex, and I just look at my arm.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm gonna use lay on hands as I kind of just.
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty much just like wounded
We'll just say that
pride.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just getting feeling back in my arm, so I'm at least You know, if we want to keep track of stats, I'm at least at 20 hit points by the time I get to the cathedral.
You feel the presence as you tap into the power source of the goddess Fora. You feel maybe like a warm hum almost in your amulet of sap.
Yeah.
On you.
Warmth starts to kind of just flow back into the arm.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like your arm is dipped in honey, but like it feels good. It doesn't feel sticky and gross.
Warm honey, yeah.
Yeah. And you head over to Karis Roth's office?
Yes, I present myself pretty much as officially as I can. Definitely make sure I can do the salute before I go in there. Very much like if no one's outside the door, I'm just gonna like make sure my arm's okay. Then,
yeah.
Okay, then go in.
You go in and meet Magistrate Karis Roth. He's like a 30-ish something year old man. Like he platinum hair, like kind of long in like a ponytail in the back. He looks fairly refined. He regards you.
Magistrate Roth, by order of Commander Tremont, I am assigned to your guard detail, and you have requested my presence.
Of course. I just like to meet my personal guard when they are assigned.
Understood.
Alexander Tremont?
Correct.
I assume there's some relation?
Yes. Commander Tremont is my father.
Well, your father's a great man. I expect you will be great as well. I'm going to expect a lot from you, but I'll be honest, this isn't a difficult job most of the time. It's a lot of standing around, waiting for something to happen that usually doesn't. And when it does, it's over very quickly. It's usually someone throwing a brick or dirt. It's not a big deal usually.
I shall do my utmost to serve you.
Good. Now I see here that you're actually, I'll be honest, a little overqualified for this job. So I have a proposal. I have work that needs doing that, as a member of my personal guard, I can order you to do. It would not be outside of your responsibilities. It is, however, a bit more involved than simply guarding me. I will, of course, give you the opportunity to refuse that added responsibility if that is not something you wish to have. But I don't get the impression from your paperwork here that you are a unambitious young man.